Hi everyone, my name is Stormi the Folf, and today I'm joined with my Protogen pal, Wave. He's living up to his name because he's literally waving at you. After my first video on Protogens received an overwhelmingly positive response, I got asked a lot of questions regarding the species in the comments, so I decided it would be a good idea to go straight to the source and let you hear from a real Protogen. But first, I had to catch one. It wasn't that hard. All I had to do was put out some bread and some RAM. After he had finished his delicious sandwich, I sat Wave down for a good old-fashioned interview. You see, I recently made a tweet asking for y'all to ask me questions to interview a Protogen. Unfortunately, I won't be able to answer every single question on this video, or it would never end, so I'll answer what I can. But before we begin the Q&A, tell me a bit about yourself, Wave.
Hello, Stormi and Internet. I travel the universe and go exploring. That's a combination of exploring and learning. I happened to be in the quadrant when I noticed this M-class planet had an unusually high concentration of untoasted bread. So here I am. I also make music, as you could have probably guessed by the triangle wave logos on my cheeks. The rest of this video will have my music in the background. Listen to it with your brains.
But yeah, here are some questions Wave was able to answer before returning to cyberspace. Logan Haddock asks, do you charge from a USB port? And if so, where?
Good question. I do have a USB port, but it's not for charging. It's for software updates. Do not disturb me during a software update. I mean it.
Okay. Skyline asks, AC or DC? Plug or receptacle?
First of all, good band. Second of all, DC and its receptacle. Here it is.
Oliver asks, how do they feel about close species, i.e. primogens?
I think the idea of a tightly controlled creative concept like primogens is very interesting. When I work on creative projects, I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist, so I can very much understand wanting to get all the details exactly right.
The Void Exorcist asks, can they really toast bread?
I dream of a world where protogens are more than kitchen appliances serving lazy humans. However,
Kyle asks, what do megabits taste like? Just kidding. Do you guys synchronize with each other to display something bigger?
yes, this is possible. Some people have made Protogen suits that can sync with each other over Wi-Fi, or even using infrared transceivers like the one inside your TV remote.
Interesting.
My suit can't synchronize with any other Protogens right now, but I could change that if I wanted to by buying and building more electronics.
Pure Heart Bat asks, when making your own Protogen, how much freedom do you have in creating their backstory? For example, the Protogen I want to create has quite an elaborate background that is a bit offset from the Protogen lore. Would this be allowed? After consulting with an administrator of the official Primogen and Protogen Facebook group, I can fully say with confidence that you are free to design your Protogen and its backstory however you want. This may come as a surprise, but those were the words straight from a group administrator. The only catch is, your particular proto would be separate from the official groups. Remember, it's still a Protogen, and nothing will change that fact. But if your design was in line with the official canon, it could, however, join an official hub. As of late 2021, the official Primogen and Protogen canon isn't fully fleshed out yet. Kaneru asks, can Protogens blep? I don't know, but we could certainly find out. Okay, Wave, hold still, and this won't hurt. Probably.
Okay.
There you go.
Am I beautiful?
Yes, hon. Look at our beautiful bleppers. Wait. Oh no. Psychotic Jackal asks, what's it like having a visor for a face compared to having a regular muzzle or a beak like other species? That's a very good question. With most fursuit heads, vision is provided via a mesh material such as buckram, which can act as the entire eye itself, or in realistic suits, the tear duct. With Protogen heads, however, due to the nature of how they are built, visibility is limited to the upper half of what our eyes can normally see. You'd think this would provide terrible vision, but it's actually not that bad. Unfortunately, the left, right, and bottom sides of the visor are a huge blind spot, so all visibility is provided from the upper portion.
Oh, Stormi, wait, we could just show them.
Oh, but derp.
Here is what it's like from behind my visor. It's kind of like looking through a pair of sunglasses. This is because it's made of PTFE plastic, which is see-through. So, aside from the blind spots that Stormi mentioned, the vision is actually quite good.
It's totally usable, but I definitely wouldn't attend a busy convention or traverse unfamiliar territory without a handler in one. My tongue is really crooked. Kilo the Shark asks, what antivirus do they use?
Why do I always get asked this?
Wait, what's wrong with that question? Roxas asks, do they have a self-destruct button?
No!
Actually, it does, and I've pressed it before.
Stormi, you are being a bad potato. Nobody can know about my self-destruct button. Why would you tell them?
White Noise asks, what do you use to clean your visor?
Never use Windex.
Gavin asks, me was smart and translated this question already. Beep beep, beep boop boop beep.
I'm so happy that you translated for me. That was so nice of you. Thank you. Here's my answer.
Mordecai asks, we know they're from the future. Which is more comfortable, a regular head or a Protogen head? Well, it's quite a bit different from a regular head, given that you're surrounded by plastic, wires, and electronics instead of soft fur and foam. It's a bit like...
Wait. Is this person saying my head isn't normal? What constitutes a normal head then?
Oh, I don't think they meant it like that. I think they just meant that your head is...
No, I know exactly what they meant. I just want to be considered normal for once. Protogen heads are regular heads.
Wave. Don't make me turn you off again.
Yes, dear. Next question.
Bex asks, can Protogens be upgraded? It depends on what part you want to upgrade, but in most cases, yes. Protogen heads are very customizable, right?
Yes, with DIY projects, you can do pretty much anything you can imagine. I even made several upgrades in preparation for this interview. For example, originally I was only using single color LEDs, but then I replaced them with these ones, which can be any color I want.
Well, that about wraps up the Q&A segment of this interview. So next I want to briefly touch up on the Protogen lore. Although I briefly talked about the species backstory in my original species video, much of this information is unfortunately out of date. A lot has changed pertaining to the species canon since then. Thankfully, there is an official lore PDF document available from Cool Koinu, the creator of the Protogen and Primogen species. It's over on our Patreon page as a public post. Link in description. I have also been in direct contact with one of the Primogen and Protogen group administrators, who was very helpful in providing me with this information and more. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough time to cover every single bit of official lore in this video, so instead, I'll focus on the species highlight. Protogens are a cybernetic race of alien species. The build of Protogens varies depending on their DNA infusion level, which is what gives Protogens their unique physical traits and functions. For example, Protogens have a mix of organic and artificial limbs, and the artificial ones can be removed and replaced.
A standard Protogen stands at about 4 to 6 feet tall and weighs about 400 to 200 kilograms. But there also exist Protogens much smaller and taller than that, such as the colossal types or microgen.
But probably a Protogen's most well-known feature is their visor display. Sitting front and center, a Protogen visor is made from millions of small particles known as nanites. Nanites are not only able to protect the Protogen's internals from the outside, but can also freely move about into various shapes, kind of like metamorphosis. This effectively gives the Protogen a mouth and the ability to blip. Nanites also act as the glue, holding the Protogen's body parts together.
If you want to learn more about the Protogen's backstory, check out the link to that official lore PDF in the description below. And maybe someday, Stormi and I will finally make a fully fleshed out video about the species.
Yeah, I would very much like that. Anyway, I really hope y'all enjoyed this silly Protogen sit down. Thank you so much, Wave, for visiting Earth. Although now I need to go grocery shopping for more bread, and I could have sworn my computer used to have more RAM. Like, I had 64 gigs, now it's down to like 8. Okay, anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Patreon shoutout goes out to Protus Griffin. I don't know how to say your name, but I appreciate you and everyone else for supporting my content. Seriously, I just can't thank y'all enough for helping me with my bills. And if you want to get early access to my vids and more, consider supporting me on my Patreon.